We in the house. We in the house. It's the That's Just It show.
That's just it.
I didn't hear echo, so I'm wondering, is everything right? Everything right?
Better. He getting better.
Okay,
Yeah.
he learning his job.
He getting better.
It only takes 32 years.
It's only his shit. You know
What up, Miles? But I'm in here with. Oh boy, I was like, right.
Why you looking around like you mad at somebody else?
You want to play me and shit.
I wanted to hear. Is it still on? I can't hear.
No, it's off now.
Yeah, so I'm in here with three of my favorite hosts. One of the guys ain't here. He's out doing big things. And y'all know how we start before I introduce our guests. We gonna do like we do. And of course, we starting with Profound Rucker first. Yeah. We gonna do singers.
Singers.
We
Okay.
gonna do singers. And Krista P, you look like you pretty quick. So you gonna be in this. We doing this.
Okay.
So
What I gotta do?
yeah. She's a comedian and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I know
Welcome to the
she's gonna
show.
fall
Welcome
right
to the
into
show.
this.
Welcome to the
You
show.
want to start with this? You want to get in on this intro thing that we do?
She don't even know what you talking about.
I know, but I wanted to get a commitment before she even said yeah.
Why you gonna get him again?
Right.
Get a commitment.
Oh, right. She's right.
Got to sign the podcast contract.
Miles, can you fix my camera, man? See, this is why I see myself. It's all messed up.
here
It's
for
all
20
messed
minutes.
up. It's all messed up.
You don't do the big.
Yeah, but it was,
Okay.
I got this.
You got this? All right, thank you, sir.
All right.
So, what we do when we start our shows, still fucked it, right? It was fucked up, though, right? Why he got it? White meat.
Can't help how you look.
It's chicken meat. What we do is when we start the show, we're doing singers today. I would give you a singer, and when I say that singer, I would say, how would you greet me? And you would think of the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that singer. Maybe a song or something they did or...
Why don't you let Profound show?
Okay, but I'm explaining.
No,
I'm
fuck
explaining.
that. Why don't we start with
what
your
it
ass?
is.
The dance show.
So you want to do it?
Yeah.
Because you
I'm
said
in.
you down with it.
I'm in.
Right.
I'm in.
All right. You ready, Crystal?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Let's start with profile.
we're going to start with Profile.
This one I was feeling like, okay.
It's like
she
the,
cool.
it's
Yeah.
the accounting. It's the accounting method. Last one in, first one out.
Nah, we don't do that. No, he was stuck there.
All right, Profile. Right, definitely. That nigga was late. You get this. If I was Michael Jackson, how would you greet me?
What's up?
He back to you, brother. Welcome. He always gets seen. That's it. That's why he started with Profile. My man, Pastor Shine.
Jesus is Lord. What's up?
If I was Al Green, how would you greet me?
What?
This nigga, right? This nigga is contagious.
That was the high after the grit.
Yeah, before. Wow. What an example. To
Look,
give.
hey, look,
Right,
he-
there
that's
we
all
go.
he had
That's
to
even, yeah. You know, you could have gave me a little, you know.
Okay, is that good enough?
Yeah, I mean, a little verse, a line or something. Yeah.
He went out to Isley Brothers.
All right. So y'all feel what we was doing?
So you see what we doing.
Okay.
Okay.
So one of our guests today is Sean Clark. Or just Sean.
Just shine.
Just Sean. Excuse me. Dang, I messed up. Scrub that out. The end part.
Yeah. Lord Jesus.
You went to a concert last night. If I was Bobby Brown, how would you greet me?
Bobby Brown. Right, exactly. I turned around and walked away, walk off the stage.
Is that what he was doing last night?
Every little step I take,
Not no more steps.
my prerogative.
All right. There we go.
Prerogative to work out.
He always wanted to add to somebody else's stuff, but he couldn't. You know.
Hey, Michael Jackson, that's all you had to hear.
All right, Krista P.
Welcome.
If I was Prince,
Oh,
how would you greet me?
Oh my God. Probably with my butt cheeks out.
Yeah! Comedian Krista P, y'all.
I ain't got to say nothing. I let
Whoa.
my actions speak for me.
Yes, that would do it. That would get a hello back. That definitely would get a hello
just be
back.
the symbol, right?
Yeah,
Right.
You got my attention with that one. Hello back. That was like the sunshine. Like, hey, sunshine. My man, Ted scored 10.
What up, though?
If I was Rick James,
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my
how would you greet
goodness.
me, brother?
Ooh, cocaine a hell of a drug.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. All right, now. Well,
I'm Rick James.
I'm Rick James. So,
I got you past. I didn't.
We-
bad part on your shoulder.
man. So usually I don't watch the camera and stuff, but now
You trying to look at
yeah,
your je ne sais quoi.
we was missing comments and stuff. We be missing comments, and I asked somebody else to do it, but they fell off doing it.
I got big shit going on.
I know.
I get to it sooner.
Big
Like.
I know, right. Show 50 and shit. We'll finally get to it. So maybe y'all saw the title and maybe not. And when y'all watch it again, y'all will know what we talking about. The title today is Cherry Wine.
Cherry.
Now, why is it called cherry wine? And I can't even go, well, what is the first thing you think of when I say cherry wine? Because everybody know it, not because we was in here talking about it. So, let's make this fun. Profound. Because you wasn't here when we was talking about it. Do you know what we talking about when we say cherry wine?
Yeah, we're talking about that same thing we talked about last week.
Why you gotta get why you mad?
Cause I'm like, it started with me, so I'm like,
Because you weren't in here when we was talking about it. That's what
I'm trying to hurry up get this tequila in my system. That's what I'm trying to do.
But
Go
it's a
ahead.
podcast. That's what we do. We talk about shit.
Damn, dog, what they do to you before you got here? You straight?
Man, I be 80 on the freeway, dog. That's to help this nigga out. I be like, let me hurry up get out here. What's up? Go ahead. Y'all know I be getting off work. I be like, okay, red wine, let's go.
Cherry.
Cherry.
Cherry wine.
Cherry.
Are you familiar with Jermaine Stewart?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you know the song?
We don't have, yeah. I know.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Instead of getting upset, that's what you could have said.
I'm just waiting for the shit to start. Let's go.
But it can't start if we don't start it. That's what I'm saying. So, everybody that, from our age group, we know the song, We Don't Have to Take Clothes Off. I used to think the song was called Cherry Wine, but it's called We Don't Have to Take Clothes Off by Jermaine Stewart. Mm-hmm. And he says in the song some powerful things, but some of the guys said they never listen to the words.
No, never.
So I'm going to, we want to know what the show is about. So I'm going to read this verse right here. And it's another verse in here I want to read
You
too.
about to say na 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 na.
I appreciate it if you come in with that one because it might not sound the same when I do it. Right. So it starts out with not a word from your lips. You just took for granted that I wanted to skinny dip. A quick hit, that's your game. But I'm not a piece of meat. Stimulate my brain. Night is young, so are we. Let's get to know each other better, slow and easily. Take my hand, let's hit the floor. Shake your body to the music, maybe then you'll score.
Wait,
So you still talking about fucking on the first night?
wait.
But he said at
that
least
was
get
a
the
man
first
that
date.
wrote that though?
Well, actually,
It was a man that sang it. We don't know.
Right. Somebody else. The writer is on here, but it is a man. It was two men that wrote it.
Straight up.
It was two men that
Or
wrote
they
it.
identify as
I
men.
just ain't never
And
heard.
are they right.
She said I did.
Like you said, you never heard nobody
I never
say
heard
it.
no man just.
Okay, so let's
be on
keep
a
on
date
going.
and
Let's
be
go
like, whoa,
going.
Baby, slow down.
So
No, nigga.
So let's go. I ain't go. We know the hook already, so we gonna go to the other verse.
Okay.
Just to okay. To have a good time, and you just have a good time. Damn, this got a long verse. Just slow down if you want me. A man wants to be approached cool and romantically. I've got needs just like you. Give me conversations, good vibrations through and through.
This definitely is
This is game.
This is definitely 80s. This is 80s talk.
Yeah, that's the
This is
80s.
game.
bro.
She said it's gay.
I've never heard this before.
No, I never paid attention to the lyrics.
Right, and that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Let me get to the last verse, and then here we go. All night. Excuse me. Anyway, we gonna talk about it. Then I'll get to the last verse.
Okay.
So, like you said, that's a man that wrote that,
I don't know.
well, it's two men that wrote it, and Jermaine Stewart that is questionable about his
Orientation.
is he sung it, and I think that's why it wasn't taken so seriously. Because like if Teddy Pendergrass sung the shit, then everybody know the words, you know.
I get you.
And then Jermaine Stewart, he had a soft, feminine voice. Because a lot of people probably didn't even know. And look,
Yeah.
a lot of people probably didn't even know that he was a man.
I thought it was a woman singing.
Yeah, I thought it was a woman.
All
When I
day.
first saw him, I thought he was
Yeah.
a woman. So I'm not even gonna lie.
So
A bad looking woman.
Yeah, like ugly.
I
So-
don't know if I've ever seen.
now that we know it's a
good.
man, what's wrong with what he's saying? What's wrong with that?
I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying that's very surprising.
That a man would think like
First
that.
of all, if I'm gonna take you out on a date, like I gotta be attracted to you. You know what I mean? And then for you to be like, slow down, like let's get to know each other. No.
The dude, you
Maybe
said,
this chick is aggressive because you know some of these new
Well, he gonna
women,
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
they're a little different. You know, some of the women, it's like, hold on, let me be sure, because not every guy want to run up and just everything. You know what I'm saying? She might not have the right smell or the right,
Amen.
you know.
Amen.
You trying to count how many children in the bedroom
Amen.
before you
What?
take yourself up.
No, she
Amen.
Yeah,
preaching.
so every
Damn.
guy is not trying to push up on the, you know.
See, I feel like in this day and age, that's game for guys right now because that's gonna make a girl want him even more. It's like, hold on, slow down, baby, slow down,
But
baby.
first of all, y'all not gonna believe
Right.
it.
Exactly.
Well,
not
it
gonna
depends
believe it.
on the spirit it's coming from. You know
The
what I mean?
energy.
Yeah.
The energy.
That
That's
in
behind
science,
it.
they say energy. In the hood, they say vibe. In spiritual folks, they say the spirit. But something in your gut is going to tell you in your shanana. This
Your shana.
Negro here is trying to run game on me.
Exactly.
And the thing
Running
is,
game.
game does recognize game.
Okay. So I'm watching the show, and maybe y'all seen it before. It's called Love is Blind.
Okay.
And they're in their fourth season. And what they do is they put each other in different rooms, and they talk to each other, and they have conversations, and they don't get to know what each other looks like. They get to know each other and feel each other and fall in love
Basically
to them
behind the podiums. Yeah.
by what they're talking about.
Right.
You getting to know somebody before you see them. You know, that's basically what he's saying on the
Right.
the song.
Because it's authentic.
It's authentic. And again, you know, I bring this up because y'all know I, you know, say it, and don't get mad when I say it, women. I say some women are lazy daters, meaning they don't want to go through this, you know, and they think a nigga is soft or a pussy because
They not jumping all in their draw.
or they think it's game because he really means that. Go ahead, Dish.
I'm not saying jumping in her drawers. I'm just saying if she trying to get close to you, bro, you just not really saying no. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
But-
saying you got to be all this, got to be all that. But if she in your zone,
And you taking it somewhere else though, because that's not where he's taking. Well, this is not where I'm taking it from my perception. Because what it is if she wants you, of course a nigga gonna say yeah.
Right.
Of course a nigga gonna say
that
yes.
ain't what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's not what he's saying, but that's what you saying.
Yeah.
And that's not what he's saying. That's what I'm saying.
But realistically, that's what it is. They gonna say yes.
Well, you
But
know
and this is what I'm trying. And this is what this show is about. And this is why you here.
That's why he didn't sing that song too. That's why people didn't sing
He
that
didn't
song.
write the
'Cause
song.
That's what I'm saying. Other
Somebody,
people-
right.
Teddy P didn't
So,
sing it 'cause it's some
and that's
bullshit.
what I'm saying. There's a such thing as a man wanting to go out and have fun. Maybe he don't want pussy that night. Maybe he really wants to know the chick. And maybe, and don't get me wrong, because put it like this. Say, for instance, and that's why you're here. You're somebody that I saw that I said I would talk to, right?
Okay.
You don't know that, but that's what I said in my mind.
Okay.
Right.
It's out now.
So my thing is I already know that, from past experiences that people think is game. And maybe I don't, of course, you say, come on, let's go home tonight. Yeah, we go do it. But now the relationship isn't the same.
Right.
It's not authentic anymore because you just gave it to me, and I don't have to try no more.
Right.
I don't have to.
There's no
I don't have to impress you. But maybe.
I don't know, bro.
Listen, the whole thing.
No.
Every woman thinks she's being chased after.
I don't have to impress you to get the ass. That's what I'm saying.
But a lot of it
Because you gave
too.
it to me.
But that's cool.
No, that ain't it.
It ain't about impressing her to get the ass. It's
That
about
ain't
impressing her to get her.
Okay,
go
same
with
thing.
that.
And I shouldn't get the ass until I get her.
That ain't.
Nah. Nah.
But I think some of
I
it
don't
too
know.
comes
She
with
is.
a certain amount of maturity.
Okay.
What somebody may do in their 20s or 30s might not necessarily be what they do in their 40s or 50s or what
Right.
the expectation is.
Right.
So things that you went through in your 20s, you're like, okay, I know, we're not going there now. So, or the way that it comes to you. Now, if you are a person that always have these guys or women that are always trying to jump down in your draw, sometimes you might have to evaluate yourself, and it's like,
I agree
why
with
am
that. I agree with that.
why am I attracting this type of gentleman? Why can't I attract somebody that says, hey, how you doing today? Would you like to sit and play a game of chess or something of that nature? And it's not about getting in the draw. So I think some of it is maturity.
Can I piggyback off of that too?
Yeah, why you got to piggyback off the fat person? Why everybody want to piggyback off somebody plus size? Why can't you do that?
I said fat, but
You can't just take the mic.
I'll say, can I hitch a ride? Then? I'll say it like that. Okay, you mind?
That sounds like the
That
same.
sound-
That's Stephen
same
Martin.
thing.
Yeah.
We got to take our clothes off.
Right. See, why did the dark skin niggas always got to instigate? But anyway, everybody always got to instigate.
Come on, Sean, give us the,
But no, you
the
bring up a
Army
good-
veteran point of view.
Army veteran slash actually that's correct. Army veteran slash pastor
Come from
perspective.
behind, right?
Yeah, coming from this dude. Man, just hit the applause, okay? Yeah, thank you. But anyway, but you bring up a good point. I'm gonna say it from personal experience now. Pre-Pastor Sean Allen in my 20s in the military.
You was hitting that. Just go
Fill in
ahead.
the blanks, fill in the blanks, fill in the
Speak the
blanks.
truth, shame the devil.
There it is. I was in the national, okay?
Like a player.
All right. But as Pastor Sean Allen came into evolution, okay, one of the things that I do recommend, and you say maturity, that's why I wanted to piggyback off of that because, as Pastor Sean Allen, when I decided to start dating again, because I came out of a divorce myself. And so when I decided to start dating again, now it could have been easy to get out there because even as a pastor, I realized that there's a lot of people that just because you're a pastor, just to tell a funny story, I remember I was preaching at a church one day and some woman, instead of saying amen at my sermon, she's like, that's right, Pastor, that's why I ain't got no kids and my house is paid off. And it's like,
She trying to get her foot in the door.
Yeah,
She
exactly.
getting her bid.
Exactly.
Can I get a woman? Can I get a draws? Can I get a right here?
She threw it on the other foot.
Then she threw it all out there in the middle of the sermon, and it's like, okay, amen would have just been sufficient, okay. But like you said, maturity, because for me, I had to go through a process myself before I decided to start dating again, because it could have been real easy to get caught up in that, and where I was at mentally after coming out of my divorce. I tried to date, but it was very unsuccessful.
Not only that, when you go through certain things, you know what you do and what you don't want to deal with.
Exactly.
And you start separating yourself. Where you used to hang, you might not hang anymore.
You change the acquaintances.
And, yeah.
Yep.
And so when you say now, hey, how you doing? Would you like to, go hang out? We play some darts or something.
And that's how it was with my
coming
wife.
from Pastor Sean as opposed to Player Sean is going to be received differently because Player Sean, You know good and well we ain't about to play some dart. No, the only thing you trying to hit is me. You ain't trying to hit the board. You know that's how it's going to be received because they know the player Sean. But when they see the mature Sean, the pastor Sean that is looking for more of enrichment,
exactly,
then it's received different. So you can say the same thing and it has two different meanings.
That's correct.
Yes, but you never know the mature Pastor Sean if you don't go out on dates and get to talk and get to know him.
Right. But that's where my wife came in and played. Right.
When you spot somebody and stuff, you gotta like, I wonder what's that about. Or you see how they talk and act in a different environment. And you just observing them from across the room, and you start building up what your expectations might be.
And we move at such a fast pace now that those looks and everything, those don't happen anymore.
Swipe right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, and that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If that's how you date,
that whole app.
if that's how you date, and how do you get to know a person and know if they gaming or if they're serious? Because there are guys out there that want to get to know themselves and they need company. They might not need no ass. They just need company. They need to have friends. And women go, he wants some ass. Of course he wants some ass. But you have the right to say, nigga, you ain't getting none. And before we go out, it's clear. So if I say, hey, let's go out to play darts, and you say, all right, then you know you ain't getting no ass. Right. Of course I want some, but
I'm trying to play it off. No, that's not what I'm here. I really want to go to the corner bar and play darts.
And that's it, and that's what we do. And again, then we go to another. It should be another date after that. Again, I think it should be a build up of knowing somebody. And if you get it on the first night, yeah. But I've never met anyone I got it on with the first night
that you wanted to have a lasting relationship,
that I wanted to marry with. I wanted to marry.
How old were they though?
It don't matter. I'm just saying never.
I've never dated a woman over 40 who didn't expect for us to do it that first night.
Yeah, they like
Dance Cortez. They say you on film TV.
I know what I want. Type of, you know what I mean?
Most women over the age of 40, they ain't trying to hit all that shit, go out and play darts. They know
You know what it is? Now. She wants
especially after they gave you their number.
Lobster later. That's what it is. See, that's what I've been seeing to get. But also, too, like you said, you realize that you the hoe, the one. For real, after hoeing so much, nigga realize that he the hoe, and the women who want a hoe, it's coming to them.
Right.
And you get them because, nigga, you the hoe, but you don't realize that for a good little while. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they ain't all hoes.
But like I said before, it's a lot of nasty motherfuckers out here.
Ain't it though?
And that be
just
no. I'm just saying that's what becomes
that's nasty though.
No, not wanting to fuck everybody. Can you that gum? Somebody chewing some gum.
What is everybody though?
But I'm saying,
you're talking about one person.
But what you said is we going and you go out with a couple people and you smashing them. Everybody above 40. You said that you met. So I ain't saying in your case.
I didn't say I smashed them. I said
I'm not saying in your case. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying because it's so crazy out here. It's so crazy out here. Then you have to. Not saying you, but I'm saying some people want to be selective and want to eliminate who they fucking with, so they don't have to.
But they wouldn't even get to that date status if that didn't happen. You know what I mean? If they at the date status and they want it. That's something different. Like, not no random person who you just, you know what I mean? If I'm like her enough to take her out on a date, then I like her enough to hit her, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? What you mean?
Because I think that you shouldn't have to like somebody that much to take them on a date.
What?
I'm just lost.
No, I'm saying, again, it's about knowing somebody.
It's about my time.
Okay.
I'm not going to spend my time on you.
You can't get it back.
I can't get my time back.
No, you can't get that back.
You know what I mean?
Get that
so
back,
if we
right.
go on a date, I like you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay.
And if you want me to hit it, yeah, I'm happy. And I will. And I'm going to do my best. You know what I mean? That type of shit. I'm not going to be like, let's just play darts.
And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're going to be like, nah. I'm not saying I would be like, nah. I'm saying there are some guys that are trying to work on themselves and build a relationship with somebody without fucking them, without having sex with them, without taking their clothes off.
Can I speak to that from a pastor's perspective?
Please.
Okay. And I use my
Help us, Pastor.
yes. I use the example of when I met my wife. All right. I actually, because one thing I thought I never would do is like date online. Okay. I met my wife in a Facebook group of all places. Okay. But it was just something about her that just stood out. Okay. And I was like, wow. Okay. I like her. Okay. So we had a couple conversations. Long story short, right? We had a gap of time where we didn't talk to each other, right? So when I was going through that phase I told you I was going through, after everything that went on with me, and I said, you know what, that girl that I met, because she's not from here, I met her in Rhode Island, okay? And so I said, okay, that girl that I met in Rhode Island, I said, she was pretty cool, but she just stopped talking to me, right? So I reached back out to her, and all I said was, matter of fact, I texted her a message, and I said, look, I don't know what happened, I don't know why we
got disconnected,
yeah,
so to speak.
but I want to reach out, I want to tell you something, okay? And so she reached out to me, and I said, well, whatever happened between us, I said, I take ownership on that. I messed up, all right? And I think I messed up on what could have been potentially a good thing. I said, but this is what I said. I said, you don't owe me anything. I just want to put that out there, that I think whatever caused us to disconnect, I take ownership on that. So you don't have to receive it. You don't have to do whatever, but I'm just letting you know I think I messed up, okay? And here it is 4 years later, we're still married. You know what I mean? And I say that to say, because it seems to me that in these conversations about about that type of stuff, and it's something that Dad said, because like with time and everything else, if I like you, okay, now taking off to getting the tail, okay, but that's where like the whole idea, I might use my favorite term again, intrinsic value. Like if I'm putting the time into you, okay, that means that I'm not necessarily looking for the hit and quit, especially in my position, okay. Right. I'm looking for dating with a purpose at this point. I'm trying to date with a purpose, and that's what I encourage all people to do if we're going to date, okay, because I think that's where dating has kind of dropped the ball at. The idea, and this is actually something I would agree with Kevin Samuels. I know he's kind of controversial, but men control the access to relationship, women control the access to sex. All right. So the idea that I'm inviting you, that I'm pursuing you, okay, I think that kind of gets lost. It doesn't have to be about a thing of just getting a tail. Maybe I just want to pour that time into you because I see something that you can add to value to my life at the end of the day. Right. So that's why I'll always encourage, dating with a purpose. Has it always been that way? No. Right. But as I've gotten older and a little more mature and spiritually grounded, then
you recognize and you see things differently.
Exactly.
And men, one thing about men, they know who they want for the long haul,
right?
And who's seasonal, if you will. And that season might be for an hour for them, and that season might be for a couple of weeks or a lifetime.
Right.
Men kind of know. This is my second marriage, and my second husband, he was trying to pursue me, and when it was like you said, he sees me, so it's like, okay, oh, she cute and blah 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 and this. And I never, I met my husband online, and I don't always reveal what I do because I want people to know me for me and you. Not,
right.
like DC, as I like to call him. He's well known on the Tubi circuit and stuff.
Right.
And I see women in chat groups like, who is this? And because they see him as a celebrity and not as the person just to date because he's kind or because he has a W-2 or it's just
kind.
Who we talking about?
Right, but I'm just saying some people get this perception on what they see on TV and not the real you.
Right.
My husband, he saw me physically and was like, oh, okay, she top heavy or this and that, and he's like the lighter hue, if you will. Shut up, Miles.
Say calm down.
And but I wasn't going for. He realized the stuff that he told all the other broads. Can I say broads?
Yeah, broads is fine.
You say whatever you want.
He say all the other broads that he ran and that were falling for the nonsense. By the third time, he was like, oh, none of this is working. No, because you're used to low-end fruit.
No.
Right.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm more in the upper echelon. You know,
on
this
now.
now
You top
you're
shelf.
talking about
Right.
papaya and mango and stuff, not
Okay.
seedless grapes.
Not a pear.
Right.
So it's different. Okay. And when you saw that, it made him change his perception. Either he's going to go a different route and really get a chance to understand and know,
Right.
or he's gonna move on to the next hole.
Right.
I mean, you're not gonna get from me what you get from another, because that's not what I'm looking for, and I'm at a different age, so I desire something different. And that was where maturity comes in. He had never been married. I have, so
Okay.
of course his outlook on life had been different for all them years. But then he started seeing something different, and his focus from trying to get some or whatever he thought became different. Like, oh, now I want, like you say, the dating and the understanding. Okay, we can sit and play PlayStation 5. I can be a chameleon. We would go to the arcade and shoot basketball.
Exactly.
Or we go to the movies, or we go to dinner. Now we can have a conversation. There's conversing back and forth. There's seeing what you have in common. Oh, I can sit and play chess with this person. I can sit. She does this, or she likes to do this, and we
Right.
can laugh and joke. We had a weird sense of humor, so it's different. Shut up, Miles. What are you doing?
Wait a minute. Look, he like this.
No, he taking it in.
See,
That's
but
a
I
good
want to
thing.
go back to what they were saying. He was saying that women over 40, they want to have sex
I'm
on the
saying
first
my
date.
experience.
His experience is women over
What
40,
kind
they
of women?
want to.
See, because they blood type whole positive. That's the problem. Because I'm over 40, and
That's not what I'm looking for.
Wow.
Exactly.
Saying-
Because I'm looking
What's
for
happening?
dating with a purpose, like what
Exactly.
he said. I want to date with a purpose, because for me, I want to get a vibe. I want to catch a vibe. Let's go out. Let's see if we even like each other. Because on my behalf, the sex is going to be great, period. So let's not even talk about the sex part. I want to know if it's going to be a vibe between us. You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's like, let's get to know each other, because I'm not just about to be sleeping with everybody.
And like you said, let's go out to see if we like each other.
Right.
But when I just said that, y'all said no. I said what I said is you shouldn't have to like somebody to go out with them. That's what I said.
because you're trying to get
And then-
to know them.
Right, but then you just said the
It's
same
a
thing.
process.
It's
It
the
is
same
a
thing.
process.
Kind of, because
Exactly.
I didn't like. I went on a
Okay,
date. Hold
but
on, I
that's
went
my
on a
point.
date with somebody 3 times because the first time I didn't. It was
Catch,
like,
yeah, you did, yeah.
nice guy, but I don't know if it's for me. So it's like, let me try again a second
Right.
date. So I went on the second date, and it's like, I'm still not there. Let me try another time. After the third date, it was like, all right, I can't force it. I
Three
can't
strikes
force
and
it.
you're out.
I agree with that,
And that's
though. I
what
agree
I'm
with that
saying.
perspective.
You're not a lazy dater. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
If she put in the work.
vibe was
You put
there
in the
like
work.
that on that first date.
That you didn't like him? That
No,
she didn't
what
like?
if she really? What if it was everything that she wanted it to
I
be
did.
on that first
I
date?
had a first date that was like
It's
that,
possible.
and it was
Yeah.
we were so cool
Mm-hmm.
that he tried to go get a hotel room right across the street from the taco restaurant.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, hold on, how we get here?
There's a telegram.
Y'all got
Never been with a woman over 40 who would
There's a telegram.
You know, I'm like, we ain't vibe that much that I'm about to give it to you on the first date now.
And that's all I'm
feeling
saying.
though.
And somebody that makes that a different type of relationship.
No,
That's
it
what I'm
does
saying.
not, man.
You can't.
It does not mean that, bro. It does not, man. It does not.
We can go into that deeper, but I wanted to say this, Sean,
Yes.
Pastor Sean.
Uh-huh.
You fell in love over the internet.
Yeah, I did.
So then you fell in love with the person because you knew the person.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go out. This is what I'm saying.
I'm not
This
saying-
is, you got to know that
I'm not-
person.
that ain't
You
the
got
only
to build
way.
a relationship.
That's just his situation.
It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying
Right.
is, I know him. It happened.
Right.
So this is somebody that I can touch and say this is true.
Right.
But I also know people who've done it on the first date and been together forever. You know what I mean?
It's always exceptions to the rule.
Yeah, there's always anomalies.
But
so.
the majority, you're not going to find the majority of people who have done it on the first date in long-lasting
I
relationships.
agree with that.
Because for one, when you get stuff quickly, whether it's money, booty, anything,
You don't appreciate.
You start to get that unappreciative spirit about certain things.
That's true.
Well, I can
That's
get
true.
this. I can have this, and that is with anything. You're an actor. Some of the actors think, okay, I've done this movie, that they're automatically entitled because they've done it, and I'm a star, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. This, and they feel that they don't have to have a certain ethic to do it, and it's no different than dating or anything that you do. If it comes easy, there's no effort there.
I agree with that.
And you get lazy, as I said, a lazy dater. You become a lazy dater. Well, she gave it to me. She gave it to me. I don't have to do anything. I just say, hey, this is what I want. You coming by the crib tonight?
Right.
At what time? 1 a.m. Ain't nothing there ain't nothing open at 1 a.m. but legs.
Right.
I mean, some of the stuff, just like the pastor said, you all control, but women control. If they get, I can run faster with my dress down than my panties.
Oh.
Wait,
What?
we all got a visual. And
Yeah,
shit.
I did.
I mean, it's, seriously.
Wisdom behind like,
You know,
like that was deep.
women control the thing. My dad always told me when guys come about their pants sagging and hanging, he said, you control the narrative. If a guy come over and his drawers are showing, he said, you don't leave the house. And if he really wants to date you, he's going to pull his pants up. If not, he's going to move on to the next one. But when he gets tired of being shut down by a woman who is really a woman and not a girl, he's going to straighten up. You got it. So women, we do have a certain amount of control. It's just that some women out here are kind of desperate. And they feel that if they give it up on the first date, he's going to like me. And then when he don't call you after the first date, then you're sitting there boo-hooing and crying. You set yourself up for foolishness.
I agree with that. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, when you look at it, no offense to the ladies, but that's why I like that idea of the whole phase, because I had to have a conversation with a girl at my job about this, because that's, I think I can speak on this a little bit going to my past life. But that's what happened with my ex-wife, okay? And so, but a young lady at my job, we were having a conversation with a lady at my job. But she had to go through that because she had to get that out of her system. I said, see, to me, that's stupid, because that's like me saying that, like you used the good word entitlement, okay? Because it's like, well, nothing's going to happen to me if I do this, so I'm going to go out here and do this and do that. But this was the same person that, as she was going through that whole phase, okay, that called and asked me to pray for her because she was getting snatched up by another dude or by another girl that wanted the same guy. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's what happened when you pay the Pied Piper, okay? When you don't control the access to your body and you just give it out here like it's a rag doll, you know what I mean? Then you have to deal with the consequences that come with it. And so that's why at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been married for 4 years now, okay, to my new wife. I have, in my mind, the greatest wife. Do we always agree? No. Do we always whatever? No. But as far as anything that she does to bring value to me, trust me and believe that she's top notch. She's top shelf. But what I bring that up to say this, that in our age group, I couldn't date. I'm just being honest.
Oh yeah, the pool definitely got pee in it.
Because everybody talks about them. Everybody talks about them. Yeah.
Every woman that has sex on the first day is a hoe.
No, they not.
It's not to say that,
They're
but
gonna shoot
however,
another
if
guy.
she did it to you on the first date, she probably did to him on the first date. She probably did to him on the first date. She probably did to
She
him.
might
on
be
the
feeling you like that.
And just because
That's my
it's the
ex.
second date, that don't make it no better.
I'm sorry, I'm just being real.
Don't make it no better.
And then it comes down to your value system.
Right.
As a pastor or somebody spiritually grounded, they're going to go by the rules. I'm not really trying to have sex before marriage type of thing.
Right.
If you're not grounded in that rules or follow those rules, then you're going to go at it a different way. But I would tell you from a spiritual standpoint, one of the reasons they don't have sex before marriage is because now you're comparing all the booty that you done had in the past. This one not big enough. He not like the one that I had. And
so would you rather do it before or after you marry him?
I was gonna say that.
The thing is, I'll put it to you this way. If you had a mate that was impotent, would you want me to walk away from you and not love you for you? Now you're loving somebody based on the sexual aspect instead of being based on the heart. And when you're my age, if I'm rocking with you or you're my spouse and I love you, whether you can perform or can't perform will never stop me from loving you or being with you, because I'm going to hold you down Period.
But that came with the relationship.
Wait, hold on.
If he came
So would you rather
into,
that-
if he came into the relationship impotent, would you still?
Well, not necessarily, because it depends on if y'all doing it prior to, or if you're
That's
waiting
what I'm saying.
after
If he came
marriage.
into the relationship,
Exactly.
if you just met the guy and he couldn't get it up, would you still get into that deep? Hey, let's fall in love.
But
let's
see,
get,
at my age, I probably would, because sex right now, at my age, I'm over 50.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I done
and
seen
you married. So
and
let's talk about 20 years. Let's talk about before you was married.
As a younger person in the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
I probably, wouldn't even be thinking about that, because I'm young and my mind is probably not there. But in the 50s, the way my
marriage, I didn't know you were gonna go 30. I didn't know you.
Yeah, but see, I got married the first time. I was 22 when I got married the first time, and I stayed married for 20 years, 9 days, 4 hours, and 3.
Damn.
So it was an experience, and because I had stayed married so long, and there was stuff like I said, Sarah, I ain't doing that. I'm not accepting that. And my husband now, he know. I will cut you off like DTE. I don't have no issue. I will. I have no
Here we go.
because
Like
there's
that's
certain-
Cut off your water.
What you about to say, though?
Same thing you just said. It's good. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I was just saying, like, you can't base it on somebody.
performance.
Yeah, because if you base it on somebody's performance,
But look, bro. But okay.
no, hey, you base it on somebody's
feel you.
performance. Guess what? And then here you is, like 2 months later, your dick ain't work. What you gonna do then? And she be like, I ain't got nothing to do with it.
That's her problem. No,
I ain't
so-
marrying
but
no
listen,
one.
but listen, no. But listen, no.
What the
Listen.
fuck is going on?
That's her.
As a carpenter,
All right,
I have been in many homes of women who are not happy
Yes.
sexually.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a whole different spirit in that house
All day long.
when I
Yes,
go
it
in there,
is.
bro.
Yes, it is.
Keyword spirit.
So you,
So they want you to tighten up their wood. Is that what you said?
I mean, even if
They want you to nail that.
sometimes, but I'm just saying,
That
like,
wood.
He said sometimes.
it's just something about the experience. It's something about something that they're not getting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sexually for a woman. And I'm telling you, and like, listen, my daughter, I wouldn't want nobody to touch. I wanted her pure till she was, you know what I mean? Like, that's just who and the queen. But before she marries her husband, I want her to have sex with him. I want her to be physically attracted to her husband before she go into that. Because it's going to be a whole nother story if she get on the other side and it ain't right. And you can say, oh, I'm going to love him and I don't know. I know these women loved them men before. I know. This ain't no one-time thing. I go in houses and houses and houses and houses of them women who not satisfied by their husband, and now they like, what I'm gonna do? So I'm gonna call the man and flirt with the handyman. That's all I can do.
Shit.
No, I don't want that to happen. Like, it's certain things that you want from people. They got to be a little bit funny. They got to be a little bit this. They got to be a little bit that. They can't be no liar, but they gonna have to have good sex, dog. And I'm not waiting until after I totally commit to you 100% to find that out. And I don't want my daughter to either.
I do know a lot of people that are in very unhappy marriages because the sex is trash.
I'm telling you.
And
Yeah, let me get this
But is it
straight.
trash because
I'm
they're-
never saying that you have to wait that long to have sex. That was never the thing.
Top.
Right. It was never the let's wait till we get married or wait till I feel you that deep. It was just to getting to know the person. That's what I'm saying. So,
But it's funny,
so this,
people talk about sex being trash. Is it trash because they're not good performing, or is it trash because they tired because they done gave it to somebody else?
or because emotionally they not fucking with
Yeah.
you. You know they can be
Because
fucking you, but
sometimes
not
a lot of
emotionally be there.
people will blame it on that, and there are other underlying issues when it comes to marriage. That's why I always speak on people and what their situation is, because sometimes you only gonna get one side of the story.
Right.
And it's like, well, why are you still there? Something must be going right.
The kid.
It could be the money, the kids, because there are a whole lot of women who have beautiful homes, cars. You don't pay a bill, and then you mad just because about the sex. When you're in a relationship, you just can't take one piece of the relationship. Everything has to be whole. And so even though something is lacking, give that the same attention that you give everything else. If I'm taking money from my husband so I can shop and drive and look good and go into the spa and this, that, and thing, then I'm like, well, the sex is trash, so I'm going to go over here and be with the handyman. Something is wrong with her, not him, because you're not giving the same energy to all the other stuff that you would give to the sex. The sex is probably trash because you never sat down with your man and say, hey, you know, I really like to be held like this. I like to be touched like this. I like to be felt like this. It'd be nice if you did it from this. You know, some of the stuff can be fixed if you have a conversation. But if you busy complaining to the handyman, how can you fix what you already have?
And this is the show is about getting to know somebody.
Yeah,
And that's why I feel like it's so important to get to know somebody because for me,
So
I just feel like I'm the kind of person where as soon as I meet somebody, y'all heard of the 5 love languages?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I give people a test immediately. Let me find out what your love language is because I'm sewing into that. That's just who I am. I'm sewing into your love language because I'm not just a taker. I'm the kind of person where it's like, look, if we can't build each other,
then what's the purpose?
What's the purpose? I don't want you. I'm not just gonna take from you. You not just gonna take from me. I need to be with somebody that's not gonna be selfish because I'm not selfish. What can I do to lighten your load? And if my car break down, I need you to, because I don't know nothing about cars. Come help me with my car. If you need out. I feel like we both should be lightening each other's loads if we go be together.
Yeah,
and so that's why I want to get to know you so that if you have to be a good communicator with me, because if the sex is trash, I'm gonna be like, look, I need you to do it like this. I need you to do it like this. Tell me how if there's something I'm slacking, tell me what I need to do. Let's make it better. How can we make it better? Anything, not just sex, but even in the relationship. What am I doing?
In every aspect of the relationship.
And that's why I feel like I'm not going to have sex with you immediately, because if we vibing, to me, I feel like that vibe is going to make the sex explosive. You see what I'm saying? So that can come later. Let's get to know each other and see if that's even worth doing or going down that route. Let's get to know each other.
So again, that's what Jermaine Stewart is saying.
Yeah, we don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time.
That's
it depends
exactly
on what you're looking for, though. Because if you just want a good time, then that's a different
what,
situation.
Somebody's saying on Zalika is saying on YouTube is that, you know, dating is dating. And if you're looking for just a good time, then that's what you do, is you go out and you have a good time. But if you're looking for a long-term lasting relationship, to me,
a meaningful one.
It's best that you get to know that person. You got to know if the nigga can fix a car before you call him to fix your car.
Right.
Because he might say he can do it, and
it ain't even necessarily just fix my car. I'm stranded on the side of the road. Come pick me up.
Right.
Call AAA or something.
And you want to know who got it. So through conversation, that's how you find out. So Miles say we got 7 minutes. Crystal P, tell us about the movie.
Oh, so we're coming out with the premiere of Daddy, I Love Him. It'll be this Friday, March 31st at the Bel Air Movie Theater over there on East 8 Mile Road, just east of Van Dyke. And it's a fabulous film. Film. Worked with a great cast. I actually did the play. It came out as a play several years ago, and I was in the play version. And Richard wanted me to audition for the movie. And, you know, movies aren't like plays. And but I went in and I auditioned, and I didn't give them the Crystal P that they thought they were going to get, what they're used to, the comedic Crystal P. And they brought me on to do the film. But it's a touching love story. It is something for everybody. And there's so many twists and turns in the in the script and throughout the movie. One of the things, even not just what you see on film behind the scenes, it was just a great project to work with. I'm kind of selective. I know some people, somebody throw a script at them, I want to be in it, so they can say that they have 12, 15 movies on their resume. I'm selective. Just like the men, I'm selective with my projects.
Okay.
And I stand behind this project. Anything that I do, I stand behind it. This is a project that I can stand behind and faithfully say this is something that you want to see, that you're going to appreciate.
And why? Why would I want to see it? What is it about? Why
It's a love story with a young lady who has some challenges in life, like we all do growing up. Sometimes you think your family might be one way, you think your friends might be one way, or you see things and it's not always, things are not like always what we see or what we do. And trying to navigate life and the examples that she sees before her, how it's applicable to what she's trying to do relationship wise. And it's going to show different aspects of relationships throughout the film. But it's the great cast, great acting, great storyline, great surprises, great twist, and just a lot of things. It definitely, you have a moment where you probably want a tear roll down your eye. You have a moment where you want to laugh. You had that moment where like, did they really do that? So there's all these different feelings and emotions that go along throughout the entire part of Daddy, I Love Him, but it's definitely something that I think everyone will enjoy.
And how does your character make the main character better?
It's just my whole je ne sais quoi being. No, seriously. I played the sister, or I'm the aunt of the main character.
Okay.
I'm the aunt of the main character, so I'm her father's sister. And of course, being a comedian, some of the stuff I say is funny, but then I also have, and not always the wisdom, because people think because you're mature in age, that you're mature in actions, and you may not always be. Age doesn't make you mature. You can find somebody that's 20 years old and learn a lesson from them.
And that's what I wanted to say when we was talking about the topic, and you were talking about people being 40 and 50 and what they should be doing now.
Yeah,
but
some still like playing the same old nonsense.
Exactly.
So there are lessons to be learned. I learned lessons from my niece in the movie, from my brother, from my sister-in-law, and from various characters, because sometimes we tend to see things with tunnel vision. And the movie opens up even my eyes to certain things. There are certain things that you might have experienced that you keep bottled inside, and that causes your perception of something until you release. Sometimes you release things and it's like, oh, I've been carrying this for no reason. If I would have just talked about communication, talked about it, I would have saw it from a different perspective or a different light. And Daddy, I Love Him has different lights that will come on, light bulbs that will come on.
Oh, wow. You can't be holding up no fingers. We talking about your movie, nigga. So Krista P, Krista P, because you was about to go into it, but Miles holding up fingers and everything, so he's trying to eliminate our time. We still got some other shit to do.
Oh, I thought he was telling us his deodorant wasn't working, but go ahead.
You can tell over there. You sitting over there. So what is it that made Crystal P your character? Why is it that nobody else can do that character that you did in this movie?
I think it's interpretation. Of course, the writers, they write the script.
You said it at the beginning, but you trying to be all modest now.
I am a comedian, and I've been around a good little while. I'll be celebrating 19 years in comedy.
Congratulations.
But I think that I think I recognize the vision. And they gave me a little bit of autonomy to, take some things. And one thing I can say about working with Richard and Mike, the late Melissa Miles, they have the blueprint, but sometimes your interpretation might be different. And either they're going to be open to what you do, or they're going to say, hey, go. And I think the respect that we have for one another and the understanding, hey, I interpret this to be like this. What do you think about, we never looked at it. That works. So just like a relationship, the communication between me and the writers and the producers, I think is what allowed me to bring that character, it was called Aunt Barb. She was Aunt Barb. Bring her to life. It also I talked to them even doing the script, because you read it, but you might not read it like they wrote it or meant it to be. Let me understand this. Tell me who she is. Okay, she's the sister of this one. She's why is she doing this? I had to go through the script. Why did she stay here? Why does she live at this house? Why does she go? Who are her friends? Who are what's her issue? And once I see that, then I kind of relate it to my own personal life.
Okay.
Because then it helps you carry out, whether it's a burden, whether it's a joke, whether it's, now you can deliver it because you really putting yourself there.
Yeah.
And you become that. So I'm no longer Crystal P.
There you go.
Aunt Barb all the time. When I go home to my husband, no, I'm Barb today. And in anything that I do, because I need to feel and develop, that's the only way that it's going to be believable when it comes out. Because acting, you're not really acting. Acting is just real.
Yeah. And it's always in the eyes. So if you feel it and you know that it's you and you doing it, then you gonna show it. You know, and we gonna see it.
Read you. People can read your body language if it's comfortable. And everything is not always perfect.
Yeah.
And so I like to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. I also look and see what people say about other films.
Right.
And what upsets them about, oh, this was horrible. They should have did this and this. And then you try to avoid those those pits and potholes because you want this project to shine and be memorable. I want people to say, oh, wow, I didn't see that coming. And there are some things that people will not see coming at all. Even with Aunt Barb being as fun and sometimes playful and jovial, and she can be the life of the party, but she might be the pity party.
And the name of the movie is Daddy, I Love Him.
Daddy, I Love
It
Him.
premieres on the 31st.
Right.
March 31st, Friday, y'all.
You gonna be sharp as hell?
Oh, I stay casket sharp.
Casket
You
ready.
got to be ready in and out of season.
All right.
So, Miss Shine. What did you
Just
learn?
Shine.
Did you
Just
learn?
Shine.
Right. Did you learn anything today?
I did, and I was just wanted to piggyback off of what she was saying. I actually wrote a book. And what she was saying with the movie, how you watch
What's the name
different
of your
things,
book?
Yeah.
is Who Am I? Okay. This was after my divorce, when it was like, oh my gosh, who am I? Like, what am I going to do with my life? I'm not a wife anymore, and I never thought that I would write a book, but it was like the hardest time of my life. I was in California. I didn't have no family. I didn't have no friends. I was there by myself, and it was lonely. And then the pandemic hit, so I was even more lonely, and the Lord had told me, you got to write this book. And I'm like, a book? I don't even like reading books. How do I write a book? And so I sat in front of that computer and I just started typing. In 24 hours, I had the whole layout of the book.
No, it's amazing.
He just downloaded it. And when I was writing the book, I actually went through my healing process as well, writing that book. And the way I wrote the book, I wanted it to hit, and I wanted people to read it and be like, oh my gosh, I want to read more. I didn't want it to be boring, and I wanted people to learn from it. And because I learned a lot about me and my family and my upbringing and why I was making the decisions that I was making in my life and choices in men. And I learned a lot about myself with writing that book. And a lot of people read the book and they were like, oh my gosh, I had a ministry going at first during the pandemic. I had a women's ministry going. I had a lot going on because a lot of people were contacting me going through a divorce and was learning from my experience. And they were just like, I went through the same thing.
And they had been suffering in silence when somebody
They only
has
do that
been
with
going
women.
the very
They only
same
do that
thing.
with women. They don't come to men and ask, how did you get through this, and how would you do? Because
men are taught not to,
That's not true. We just
Shit,
don't
that
ask.
one
Nobody asks. I just went through one. But nobody. It's like when a woman put up, she going through a divorce. Everybody say congratulations, you gonna be all right, and nobody says I'm praying for you. To a woman. No, to a woman.
Oh, to a
But
woman.
to a man, they definitely say I'm praying for you.
Yeah.
But what you do?
What you do to cause the demise of your nuptials.
They don't care about
Well,
it.
you know
not
what?
in this day
What
and
I
age.
learned from Des, it don't matter what I did, it was my fault.
All day.
So it don't even matter what the fuck I did. It was my fault.
Always the man's
because I mean, and that's, we talked about the show last week. Leverage. I ain't have my leverage together. You know, far as it's not a control thing. It's I ain't have my shit together to keep my wife. And it's not that, you know. It's another show.
I'm feeling in your, but I understand
because this show is my therapy.
That's
so
fine.
this show is my therapy.
He's been saying that. But that's very powerful.
You ain't never said it like that, dog.
Yeah, but I felt
I'm learning.
But
what?
he's on the other side of the gate, though.
But you know when you go into the next one, what you will take and learn from what you went through.
And that was the show about a list, and that's why they couldn't feel me about my list. But that's what I was talking about.
Right.
Is you go through that, and you go through the we don't have to take our clothes off, because I went through the divorce and women saying, "Nah, you still married." Like, bitch, I'm separated. You know,
no, you married. I tell people until you have the final
get that paper.
Because there's always a chance that you can go back. I see people dating people that's quote unquote separated, and they change their mind and go back to the spouse and now you mad.
Again, it's about the intrinsic value. If you find something worth not going back, you ain't going back.
No.
If women telling you, "Hey, we can't go out because you married," you ain't got shit else to do. You start thinking about your wife and all the good times, even though you know you shouldn't be with her. But ain't nobody else. You ain't got the attention. You ain't nobody to go have fun with because they think you want to fuck.
I just cut off everything when I separated from my husband because I said too many people know me, and I didn't want to be out at the restaurant. They like, "Well, why is she there?" I didn't even want that issue. I cut myself off from everything until I got the papers that said and had that embossed stamp on it. But I didn't talk or mess with anybody.
But you're a woman.
And see, I did the same thing. It only took 6 months for me to get my divorce, but I had some other issues going on. I had a domestic violence situation, so that was and that was through that was during the pandemic, so that took a little bit longer. But I was celibate and I didn't date for 3 years after my divorce because I went through my healing process because I didn't want to take on. I don't want nobody to compare me to no exes
else and bring that baggage.
I don't want to compare anybody to my exes. So it was like, let me go through my healing process because I don't want to take on any of my baggage of what happened from my past into a new relationship.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to purport that on the new
healing process.
3 years, you just let it marinate.
3 years.
All right. So Miles keep on giving me the eyebrow and shit, even though he ain't got me none. That means we
that
going
one gray hair.
One gray hair. His head, his head look like a foot heel, like the foot back. It look like a foot back. That's just it.
Look at Miles looking at you with the
His square go dark.
Y'all crazy.
That's
just it. Yes.
I was just going, I was gonna ask Shy how he was, but he might have got mad, so we ain't even keep on.
I'm good now.
I don't want to talk. I gotta get this tequila in me.
Hey, it's in there.
We thank our guests for coming. Y'all go see.
Thank you for having Daddy. I love him.
March 31st. Any tickets still left?
Yes.
I'm gonna need my tickets.
Did y'all want to get y'all social media?
Yeah, social media.
CrystalPiscrazy.com is my new. Yeah, check out my website, y'all. CrystalPiscrazy.com. If you're on your cell phone, turn it to landscape so you get the full je ne sais quoi of the website. I'm also Crystal P is Crazy on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then on Facebook. Comedian Crystal P, or you can go Crystal P is Crazy.
All right.
Okay. And just
and I'm Shine Clark on Facebook. I am Shine_Dion DEYAUN on Instagram. Shine. I think it's I am Shine Dion. I got a website. You can find it on my Facebook, and you can find the website on Instagram.
You got OnlyFans?
No, I do not.
You know
I was went broke, nigga. I was about to go do it right now.
You know
Underscore. All right, that's just it, y'all. Till the next time.
Till the next time. Like and subscribe. Check us
Y'all
out on
take
YouTube.
care.